What's up? What's up? Hey, welcome to the West Smith Variety Show, episode 67, with the man Brian Despot. Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
What did I say you were?
Huh?
I said you were a DJ. You
Yeah,
argued
yeah.
when you
I got it
retired.
written down, dude.
DJ,
Uh,
desert legend, proclaimed by me,
yeah,
and
I'll take it.
I don't know, man, all around saucy dude. Responsible for my first desert party ever, hazing at
Well, I
it.
thought Skandar was really.
He's
I
responsible.
was just standing in
It's-
for him.
It goes like Millar's responsible,
Yeah.
but Millar delegated it to Rasas.
And
then-
go figure.
And then Rasas was like, yeah, just find Brian when you get there. And you hazed me. And, then the next thing you know, one day we went to see Tiesto, brother.
Oh my goodness.
The only guy I could get to go. That's what as the description claims. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Man, thanks for dropping in.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Good to be here, Chuck.
now what are we going to talk about, dude?
Let's
Let's just jump right in with Tiesto. That was a good time, man.
Yeah,
What was that,
it was a good
2016?
time. It was 2016. It was a good time.
Yeah,
It was weird.
it
You
was. What was the weirdest part about it? For
I don't know, like.
The glossy shirt?
Yeah, shiny shirts. I don't own a shiny shirt, but
I still have the same one.
Huh? Do you
I still
really?
have the same one. The other day, Alien Tom was like, hey, man, you want to come? Because they're doing their techno party, I guess, on Tuesdays now
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah. At
Flux,
Flux, right? Yeah.
which is not quite
not quite the same. Yeah, but
Omnia, but
Yeah.
pretty close.
I played there before to almost no people. It was fun.
So Tom hit me up and he was like, got tickets to see Nas
Oh,
At
that'd
Flux.
be dope.
on Halloween night. I was like, oh, that'd be great. He's like, you got to check the dress code. I was like, dude, I still got my outfit from Brian Despot. I didn't even wash it. It's still sitting there. It's just
Oh,
hanging there, man. I had the pants, the shirt, and the same black
Look,
shoes, man. I was ready.
It's like this. He played 3 drives on a vinyl, Reese 2000, and that was like the highlight of the fucking night for me.
Who?
Tiesto.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I didn't
That
know
was
one
like the
single
high-
song, dude.
That was the only one I knew.
All I knew was that I wanted to see him once in his career, in my lifetime,
yeah.
because you gotta, right? That would be the same for me with Calvin Harris, I suppose. He's all in the news this week.
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw that today.
He doesn't like EDM.
Doesn't like the EDM.
I love it. I love it, dude. What was the quote? Was that it was his quote was that it was
Doesn't
slow and
resemble-
sad.
Oh, really? Oh, he said.
I
it
assume
doesn't
he's
resemble
talking
what he
about,
said
like-
it doesn't resemble what he likes to make.
Yeah, like his more house-ish roots.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because
Yeah.
I would never think of him as like a future-based
What
guy,
is he? What
right?
is EDM anyway?
Progressive. Well, he's progressive house. He is,
I
to me.
know. Well, I feel like at first like it felt like it was kind of like the cheesy dubstep.
Oh, you're talking
like,
EDM.
Yeah. What is EDM? You know what I mean? Like.
I think it's whatever. I don't know. You
Well,
tell me what it is, dude.
Electronic dance music is electronic dance
It's everything.
music. But EDM, at first, I always thought it felt like it was like this meld of electro house and cheesy dubstep.
The 3 letters EDM are a terrible acronym mistake that somebody made to somehow either confuse it with electronic dance music
Mhm.
or people just didn't know, and then it somehow got distorted into these
acronyms
things.
are a problem in America. So that's-
Well, my belief in all these names of genres is it all doesn't it all just stem from record stores? Like when you used to have to go in and like flip through physical shit, and they had to put it somewhere.
I don't know. I think
There'd be a little white placard, on the plastic, like 1 inch higher than the vinyl or the CD or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
was there, and that's the only way you knew was like dance, R&B,
Well, it used
rhythm.
to be just dance. You know what I mean? Like depending on which record store you go into.
record stores. What's your favorite one, dude? We're all over the place. Real quick, what was your place?
Records in Chicago.
I haven't even heard of that.
You never
place.
heard of Wax Trash?
You went there
Oh,
physically, or you
man.
just buy stuff?
No, I've
mail
been
it?
there. Yeah, physically. Yeah.
When,
That's like kind of like the home of Wax Trax Records, which is like the home of like Ministry and Revolting Cocks and Front 242 and like the Chicago industrial scene of the mid '80s.
well, my roots were DC. Yeah, primarily for rave and stuff.
in Washington D.C.
My DJ roots were definitely. I mean, I did a little bit in college when I was in Florida, but it was like
I didn't start DJing until I was 31.
yeah, yeah. So you've been at it for 50 years now. Retired.
Yeah.
Well,
how much I DJ is is directly correlated to how much I go out to other people's parties, which is almost never.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the Chicago thing though, because do you feel was Wax Tracks? Do you feel like influenced at all by Chicago's band music scene at the time?
I think it's just influenced by the fact that Al Jorgensen was there, pretty much, But it's Meat Beat Manifesto was on Wax Tracks
because
so there's a breaks like
because DC had a big punk scene, Discord
too,
and other stuff, and that was prior to the rave scene. But I still feel like the rave scene came. I feel like it had a lot of influence because of people that got from one kind of music and then started liking that. Because DC's music scene was hardcore to me.
I just left Illinois, moved here, and there were already warehouse parties in Chicago, but the word rave was not the thing yet. The word rave I didn't hear until about the time I got out of the army.
Yeah, have you ever watched any of those YouTube videos of like late 80s, the origins of rave, not house music and that? I don't mean bullshit in the sense that it's bad music. I'm saying just not that mixing up with rave, not just a warehouse party, but when they started literally calling them raves. And I'm pretty sure the UK was first.
I'm pretty certain. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can claim maybe house music, and probably techno.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you can do that at all.
I mean, I don't really care, but
I don't either.
I mean, wouldn't Richie Houghton and the way back that far be like the techno roots?
Yeah.
Juan Atkins,
Juan Atkins. By the way, I heard just heard a new Juan Atkins track today. It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but maybe not.
I
house
guess those
music.
things were happening simultaneously. I mean, why are we talking about that? Because I'm 50 plus years old.
We're both totally in the category to provide all kinds of historical lessons and dreams that we now think whatever are.
Yeah.
It's been so long, dude, that I could probably have convinced myself at this point of some whole other story. From when I started in all this.
Yeah,
totally. It's good. I hope anybody under 30 who listens to this now or later or meets me or Brian, I hope all of you have stories that you can totally forget that you probably subconsciously tripped up at some point and you're still involved with music.
Who knows? Maybe you're telling somebody else's story. I don't know.
Dude, speaking of longevity, I laugh so hard. Well, truly, you put all this amalgamation of shit together. Sometimes I totally laugh because I really like all the younger. I like all of it, man. It's all good with me. Or if I just don't like the music, I don't vibe on it, then I just don't go buy a ticket to that again. I don't hate on it because there's so much going on.
I've been trying to preach this for 11. Don't hate what you don't like.
Yeah, there's so much going on, man. There's no need to get upset about it.
To dislike or to hate something.
What's the point? Every whatever it is, 3 to 5 year period, and I'm curious, for you, like every 3 to 5 year period, isn't there some music you like that's electronic, that's new?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, maybe you're not into dubstep, but then there's techno's going crazy.
For a long time, it was just like the cycle breaks for like 12 years in a row.
Yeah.
I missed a lot.
Well, go back. I mean, since the legend has dropped into Juice HQ, cheers to that. Go back to how you got into DJing, and was that in San Diego?
Oh, it was. It was here, and I'd been thinking about doing it for a long time because, like, familiar story, like everybody else, I used to make mixtapes.
No way.
Yeah, go figure.
You, me, and Oscar P.
I know.
I think we may be the only ones
with cassettes.
Yeah.
But I was really into electro hip hop before electro wasn't even a word yet. You know what I mean? But I was into that. The Man Perished, Twilight 22, Nucleus, that stuff.
Mhm.
early on, had an affinity for it, and then started listening to getting into punk and new wave, which kind of went on for a long time. And after I got out of the army, I was living here. I moved here with my ex-wife, and we had just split up. I was a waiter for a long time, hated it, and I was not a happy person. So I'm like, if I'm not going to be happy, at least I'm going to change. I'm going to stop being a waiter, and I went out and became a bike messenger. And that
I feel like I'm about to get the explanation behind the DJ name.
It comes later.
Shit.
It comes later. And it's not really an interesting story. I was just watching that movie called The Messenger with Mila Jovovich and thinking all this Dustin Hoffman stuff in here would be great.
Yeah.
But no, and I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about DJing for many years. I said, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. Couldn't quite afford turntables, so I bought some CDJ 100s.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah. They were fabulously simple and worked well. Yeah. There was not a lot of.
Although I did have one of the around probably similar timing. I don't remember the model, but it was a Denon dual CD rack mount, and it had pitch control.
Those are really.
It was the one with a
but it was the first one with a.
Yeah. That's all I did. It was the first one with a pitch control, dude.
That's like playing on belt drive turntable.
You know, what were your first DJ gigs in that time frame?
So me and my friends Kip and Troy, we used to do. There was this wine bar downtown. It was like 4th and G, I think. And there was a restaurant there. It was a French restaurant. I don't remember the name of it, but there was a wine bar next to it, and they were going out of business. And the restaurant was actually closed.
It's always a good time to start an electronic music night.
They let us go party in the wine bar, and we were not even quite studio monitors. We were just like bookshelf speakers and a home stereo amp, and we would take turns DJing and bartending.
Yeah,
and we did that for until somebody bought it out and was gonna close it down. We had like a pretty epic final party there.
But that's how it kind of always went back then, right? Like, I mean, whoever your friend was with like the Serwin Vega 15s.
Yeah. So
like as far as my recollection, like shit was I was really into remodeling Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Particularly Beetles, and another friend of mine did fastbacks and vans. And we both had all three of those models at some point during our teenager and early adulthood. And I just remember like a 12-inch or a 15-inch subwoofer was completely interchangeable. Car, home, PA, sound reinforcement. Like it didn't matter. Like it was the cone, the speaker was the same thing.
Yeah.
Now it's all you got all sorts of shit going on out there. I mean, the basic principle of moving air is the same, but shit's designed active this, super mono cabinets and Mr. headphones.
I don't know about all that, man.
But I'm just saying it's changed. You could drag your home system out to a nightclub.
There was this place that was that used to be
people be happy.
And it's where the Hard Rock is right now. And it was at the time. After a while, it was like this. It had this one like hippy dippy name, and then it was L5. It's kind of famous. It was like kind of like the that's where Glitter happened and some other parties. It was like the only 4 o'clock bar in town. And my ex-wife and a bunch of my friends like all worked at this restaurant called the Baja Brewing Company that was there, and they had started throwing parties at that place. And when that place went out of business because the owner was partying too much, right?
That never happens.
Dad's money dried up.
That never happens ever.
Trust fund died up.
Never happens in the music business.
So they had this old system from Cabo, which was the restaurant before, and it was like I think it was like a Serwin Vega system, and we kind of commandeered it, kind of took it. It was rough. It was rough and old, but we made it work, and it worked for a while. Took it out to the playa a couple times. And that was our main thing for a minute.
Dude,
that was like the earliest like Burning Man like crowd that I can remember here in San Diego.
Like how would you classify it though as Burning Man crowd? Like,
well, because it was like everybody that I was hanging around with were all that I knew of the San Diego Burners at the time.
Uh,
It was a relatively small community at that point. At least it felt
small would like what do you think
like,
at the time? A couple hundred
scores, maybe like 100 people.
Like you could easily know them all.
Every single person. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that I definitely want to chew your brain on Burning Man a little bit, but that would explain. Burning Man was all newer, last 5 years to me.
Yeah,
totally different concept.
My first year was '99, which is a crazy, big year for Burning Man because that was one of the biggest like growth years of their
10,000.
Shit, I think it was. I want to say it was 19,000 in my first year, and I think, and if I'm not mistaken, it was something like 12 or 13 the year before. So that's big.
But even then, if you have 200 or 300 people from San Diego not being the top cities,
I'm sure there was a lot of people we didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right, but if you have 200 or 300 people from
like we know most of them,
50 cities around the world. Point being, that's like a bunch of little tight squads.
Yeah, but back in those days, like shit. I seriously, my first year I went there, like Psytrance was the only thing you could hear. I remember like I found like a drum and bass camp, man, and like after like I'd been there like a couple of days, I was like, thank God.
What was happening in San Diego at that time, musically? Was it mirroring Burning Man or no?
No, not really. No, I mean, Burning Man was not part of like the the collective consciousness of anywhere except for Burning Man. You know what I mean? Like no one knew. You could.
It wasn't like there were club nights.
You could still say it, and no one knew what the hell.
There weren't like club or lounge nights around San Diego where basically a subsection of Burning Man-ish would show up for a particular thing.
Not really yet. Like later on, like a few years later, that was like that a little bit, And there was stuff going on. There was parties going on that I didn't go to very much, like the Romper Room and.
I heard someone else in here mention that. Maybe Rufio.
Yeah. Okay. That was, and the Green Circle was the hot spot for a minute.
So what was it? Was it? I mean, was it kind of just house, funky house, progressive house, acid jazz?
Yeah.
Like loungy.
Otherwise known as trip hop.
Yeah, but that was shit. I haven't heard anybody mention that name in forever.
Well, speaking of Massive Attack, we should go.
When?
April 2nd at the in San Diego.
Oh, wait.
San Diego State.
Way out. I'm going to do some crazy traveling for like 3 months, but I should be back in April.
Yeah.
That's why all this stuff you see, like I told you, I'm about to have this garage sale. Sure. About to have this garage sale up in here. Well, so, all right, so doing those gigs and stuff like that, but then you're talking early, wait, you said 90?
That was
9?
That's like 2000. Yeah, we're up in around 2001 now, 2002 maybe.
All right, so I was on the East Coast still, definitely at that time, and 9/11 hit, and just everything literally stopped. Same here, like everything.
As far as it didn't feel like that to me. Like
I don't think the impact was as big out here.
Feel like I'm sure not. Like outside of if you're New York and
at the time I lived in DC, and I was doing some work in New York, trying to move to New York. Those two spots.
I'm sure that was it was a lot different there than
here. Zero nightlife, like overnight.
Oh, really?
Done. Yeah, just done.
Wow.
It was so crazy. It was like watching it all evaporate. People didn't want to go out to places where there were crowds. Nothing.
I never even thought about that. Actually being afraid.
And it was actually it was actually an interesting time for me because I had started Juice before that. And all vinyl. It was starting to transition into, Beatport, I think, had just got going with some advocates like Bad Boy Bill and maybe Richie Houghton were big Final Scratch, proponents that here's how you use Beatport, It was like watching some wizardry and shit, like assembling the first computer, here's what you do. And all these cables and stuff, it was great. And it didn't work with the shit, but whatever, it was there. So, yeah, but it was kind of like in that same time frame. It was all that stuff was going on at the same time, man. It was like 9/11 happened, digital, vinyl to digital transition was starting to happen, or vinyl CD, digital for DJs, And, and it just, people don't go out, man. It was, at least in that area.
Yeah, I did not.
It was a weird thing.
I did not know that. I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, it sucked. Yeah.
Wow.
And my recollection, it's probably not accurate, but there's no doubt the impacts were longer than a year. But certainly, like, for sure. I mean, there were parties that just closed, man, that were great. They were going on. They just couldn't keep. You can't take 3 to 6 months off, and
that definitely didn't happen here for sure.
Yeah. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, life just kept on going, moving on. It took,
well, it's kind of like New Year's Eve.
Just took
New Year's Eve ball drop.
Weeks.
That shit doesn't happen out here either. So you miss 9/11 and the ball drop. Shit about either one of them. Huh? That's crazy, man. All right. So after that like period, what was the next kind of change out here?
I don't really know because I kind of dropped. As I got divorced and as my friends, I had a lot of friends who were starting to get married and stuff like that, and going off and having kids and stuff like that. So like all of a sudden, like my everyday friend base was moving on. Like I'm now single, I have no kids, so I guess I'm like.
I know how that is.
See ya.
I know how that is. Hit me up, ladies. I know how that is. But not if you want kids. Don't hit me up then.
Yeah. So I was, I was rolling solo at that point, and and I kind of stopped really going out and stuff like that to events. Because I didn't have I didn't have a crew anymore. You know what I mean? So and then. We'll just skip.
We're still DJing
we'll skip the here and there. My first, the first people to book me was Dragon Lounge. Gage and B-side of Dragon Lounge booked me when it was sober, Brick by Brick.
Okay.
And I played Dragon Lounge a couple of times. They even had me open for Tipper once.
Huh,
although cool. they would point out that I did not open for Tipper. I opened the night for Tipper.
Wait. You were not. You were not direct support. That's the current term. I love it. There wasn't even a term back then. Nobody was like direct support. Shit, dude, I've seen people list second direct support.
I was entertaining the bartenders and the wait staff.
I've seen people like go to the trouble to say post set support, like directly after.
Oh, God.
Wow, dude, struggle's real, man. Struggle's real, dude. Struggle's real. You gotta get the hashtags right. Gotta get the hashtags right, Brian.
Yeah, so I was doing a few things here and there, but then went into a little dark period. We'll fast forward past.
Yeah, everybody's got to do that at some point, right? This is me just watching us.
Dude, I move around a lot. Check me out.
Yeah, and it's delayed too. How do you like that? Isn't that cool? Then you got all these columns.
Look at me, I'm looking at myself. Yeah. This is bad. This is meta right here, dude.
I just want to let it echo a little bit. Isn't that pretty cool to watch yourself on camera? I didn't have this monitor up here for everybody else all the time. I just added this like with Maria Poppins thing, and it was kind of funny. Like, so you can show shit up there and talk about weird stuff.
Oh yeah. That's a good idea. I like it. I was gonna I was wondering if you had like a producer who's gonna look stuff up for us.
No, but I can bring the feed into this as the live stream as well. So from this monitor, I can bring I can put that, browser screen on there.
Nice.
People listening like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? But we're sitting in here with like the electronics kingdom in this place. Well, all anybody sees is just that, right? So nobody has any idea what else is in here if they're watching this from elsewhere.
Yeah, you see every once in a while.
Unless I just swivel the camera around.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start doing it at the end. But then everybody will be showing up here and trying to lift all my shit. I don't want that, dude.
This is like patient secret, though.
It's the bat layer, man. So what was after the dark period? What was? Hey, man, it didn't end up like Heath Ledger, man. I watched a documentary about that the other day.
Yeah.
Tough go, man.
Yeah.
Tough go, dude. Yeah. Apparently, he had some crazy shit going on in his head, but.
Yeah. Ditto.
But musically, so we went from trip hop to what? Because this is as far back as I've been in San Diego.
Oh, well, of course there was your everyday. Well, there was Hard House going on at Rich's as
same Rich's that's still there? Holy
Dude,
shit.
Death Metal Brian and what was that other John Bishop?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. That's crazy. That
Did I
place
ever
must have
tell
been
you
here
he had
30
like
years,
he
dude.
had a number one? He's had like 2 number one hard house
He
singles.
told me he had this hard house energy. What was it energy?
Yeah.
Like NRG or
Oh,
something was the house version. That was called
Yeah.
in the style. Yeah. High energy.
Multi-talented.
I remember
man.
energy. Oh yeah, he told me. Brian told me.
You know, but so there was that. There was the richest thing was going on up in Hillcrest, and then downtown was I think by this time was L5. But it turns out that Janelle was like a bar back there at that place. I had not met my wife yet.
Yeah.
And
then
there was
juice
stuff.
artist.
Yeah.
Those made the wall, dude.
Yeah, they look good, man.
Yeah, they're great.
Shoes.
Some of my favorite ever. Cool art.
So yeah, she well, that was going on, and then Kava Lounge was starting up. Had started up. That's where I played for Tipper, and then
Tipper at Kava Lounge
was at Kava Lounge. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, and that was back when he still played breaks. But dude, come on, start doing that again, please.
What does he do now? Like,
it's like it's like down
4 on the floor stuff or down tempo?
No, Tipper is like glitch hop.
Yeah, I didn't think he was doing
Basically,
house 4 on the floor type stuff.
No.
Yeah.
That show was dope. And he was,
You guys set your sights high to jump into that pool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm doing. Jump into the 4 on the floor pool, dude. That's a big pool.
Dude, like I don't know, like
That's
like
that's full of millions of small fish.
In techno, like what, like 7 pages a day of new tracks on
It's
Beatport.
insane.
I mean, of course, a lot of them are re-releases and shit, but there's a lot. It's unbelievable how
It's
much
like
new
playing
music
Lotto.
comes out every single
It's like
freaking
playing
day.
the lotto.
And so much of it is good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I usually go through. I don't know about you. What genres do you usually spin
lately,
through if you're kind of got your Beatport Pro all dialed up and ready to get inspired?
Left field house and techno.
Do you?
Yeah, because first of all, that's where I'm going to find most of the electro breaks, which I'm into currently.
Not that other breaks chart.
Yeah. Breaks. It went somewhere that I didn't want to go. Too much.
Yep.
Too much human voices.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's very that breaks. The breaks genre, particularly the Beatport one, has always had quite a bit of hip hop, b-boy, scratch DJ influence. It's very cut and paste, no doubt, including a lot of my stuff. No doubt, it's totally fine. I know how it made it there.
Yeah, no,
it's cool. It's a thing. And it goes in these crazy cycles because of that. I think.
It does, man.
Because it's not a lot of original music on there.
I swear to God, like Breaks is gonna have like this, like it's gonna have a mini resurgence like every 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's been.
Yeah.
I swear it's been going on since the early '90s.
Yeah, and I caught the absolute tip of it on its last one.
Yeah.
Like coming right up the hill. I caught the top of that thing, and and the rest of that's history for me. But that was awesome. But you're totally right. That it's got that. It's like every 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, and the funny thing that happened is like this last time, like that sound that you guys got nailed down pretty well, like started being so ubiquitous in shopping and.
I stopped making it.
And
you know that.
Oh, I did not know that. Actually.
Well, not like Breaks totally. What I'm saying is like that sound that was at the, like whatever you want to call the bell curve. Like I hit the coming up the slope and was on fire. About a year or so of it was like off the charts. And a lot of people were, even from outside the country, were coming back doing shows in the U.S. and this and that, and then coming back down. No, just that sound that was ripe about 2015, 16, 17.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it could if you just found it, it could still probably be very exciting. But if you've been doing it for 5 years,
exactly,
it's not that exciting anymore. So that's all.
It's funny,
it's amazing
like,
if someone finds it and it really rocks the world.
From like my first Burning Man, dude. There was this like camp. I think it was called No, it was my second Burning Man. It's a camp called Point Arena. I went there, and I had not really heard breaks for a long time. Like I didn't know it as a genre yet, right? So I walked in there, and this guy and this DJ's just fucking killing it, dude. And it was awesome. And I said, turned to this guy, I'm like, who is this? And this British dude turns to me, and goes, Frequency Nost.
That's some of the best stories ever, dude. You gave Frequency Nost. He didn't even get the name right, or maybe it was at the time, and then he shortened it to be cooler.
Yeah, he was, they had a little Brit thing going on.
Yeah,
but
all right.
Yeah. It was Freak Nasty back when he used to actually play break.
Back to,
and I was like, dude, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Right now. And that was, I remember you telling me that's how you got in.
I was playing like progressive trance.
Well, I'm not gonna. I for sure, no doubt about it. I remember specifically, Freak Nasty, Booming Back at Ya.
Yeah.
I bought 2 copies because this was back in vinyl, and you had to buy every one in the store, so no one else got it.
Yeah.
And I worked at the store, so I got them all.
Here's the thing: I would never have done that. I'd never.
But I got it.
Here's
why I did it. Here's why I did it. I got 2, so if I fucked up one or lost it, I had another.
Yeah.
That was the main reason.
Or in case you learn beat juggling.
Whatever. That's right. And then the other reason I would buy them was because I got a discount, and then if I had a friend that couldn't make it to the store, like during their work week, then I could give it to them or sell it to them. That kind of deal. And I could sell it to them for more.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to get it. There's no MP3, like no CD, dude. But I remember that coming out. And I remember, and by the way, I went before that Broken Beat party. I thought about doing an edit of it, but the sound quality is so bad.
Is it really? Yeah.
It's so bad. There just wasn't anything I could save. You know? Like the very beginning, the little, like the little space thing, like maybe I could have pulled that off it, but the rest is just kind of muddled. So, at least the digital version I had of it at this point. So, but yeah, I remember, as bad as it sounded to me now, I remember way back then, I specifically remember playing that at this club in Baltimore called, can't remember what the name of the place was called now. There was another party there called Fever, and it was the night Fever that I was playing there. Paradox was the name of the club. And it had the sickest sound system I've ever heard in my life at that time. And I just remember playing that. So Bad Boy Bill played. And this was also the first time I ever played where it was like just a lit up crowd, like crazy, legit club.
Yeah.
People bouncing off the walls on everything, like wall to wall, sweat falling off the ceiling kind of place. And it was my turn. And I won't forget it because, like, first track I played was that Boom Back At Ya shit, and nobody had heard it.
Yeah.
And place doing backflips. Backflips, dude. Yeah, it was like Bad Boy Bill, Simply Jeff.
Nice, dude. You Simply Jeff from out here, man.
I'm going to have him on the show.
Oh, really?
Soon, dude.
Nice,
I talked to him like a few months ago.
I only met him once. Like, I played, like, I think I was playing back. There used to, there's a downstairs at Cabo Lounge. It's like, I don't know, it's like a storeroom now mostly, but they used to actually have some decks down there and have the party open up to it down there. And like he was playing upstairs, I played downstairs to no one except for he and somebody else came down to have a conversation. So I was just me playing to somebody else and Simply Jeff down there. And he was my only guest.
I spoke to him for almost 2 hours about real estate. How funny is that? And I don't even know how we got on the phone together. Somehow I saw him, or he had some question about who knows what, something. Anyway, but he's in like South LA area still, where he was always from, and doing real well. And I could easily have him. We could get together totally and do online version, but since he's pretty close, I was like, well, let's just wait till maybe you have something going on down here, or I come up there. And it'd be great to get together in person. Yeah. He did a couple of the first remixes ever on Juice.
Really?
Helped us get like levels. Because now it still works that way kind of now. Yeah. But it definitely works that way. Yeah, it definitely works that way now. There's just so much shit coming out that it's hard to delineate anything. But back at that time, if you got, I remember our third record, maybe third, probably third, or like our third vinyl record, we had the track it was a track by the Speed Freaks called Brutal B-Boy, and it was a 115-ish kind of thing, which I was totally bugging on at the time. And we had Kelly Reverb and Simply Jeff. Both did remixes on the backside. I was just like, yes.
Yeah,
We made it, dude. We made it, bro. And I'll tell you what, man, that one record, we went to the Winter Music Conference in Miami that year. Myself and the chick, Debbie D, that was running it with me at the time. And, dude, you could just, everybody knew who you were. Everybody.
That's awesome, dude.
Everybody.
You know, it's funny. I remember like the first time that dude, see, I've just never been a person that like, you know, really not a artist name dropper or, you know, I never paid attention to, you know, the labels, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the big ones, you know, like Botch It and
Scarper.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude.
It was Soda Meal or Soda Meal or something like that. I used to like, but you know, but I was never one of those that knew, like Brian, that knows every fucking artist and every genre ever made. Yeah. And but I remember he was like, because when the first time like I had met you yet, we were at Spin. He was telling me like, you know, that he was gonna do a track on Juice Records, and I was like, "Oh, that's rad, man!" I'm like, I didn't know, I'd never heard of fucking Juice Records. I was so stoked for him. Never heard of you.
It's totally cool, man. I get it, man. You know, there are so many people, like, you know, behind every one of those 1,000 tracks that come out every week. It's like, you know, a couple people usually involved with most of them in one way or another. Either collab, a remix, the artwork, whatever, you know? So it just multiplies. My point is you can multiply, you know, if it's 1,000 tracks that come out in a day, that's like 5,000 people involved or 3,000 people, whatever. Worldwide, you're not going to know. There's just no way, dude. No way to know. There's just no way. No possible way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, like, you can go, you know, you could talk to, like, somebody who's, let's say all they do is run in Burning Man circles, musically as well as maybe culturally, because, you know, there's people that do that. You know, you could mention someone like Calvin Harris, and they might be like, I don't know who that is. I have no idea
who that is.
And they really don't know.
Yeah,
they're not just fucking with it. Like, they're kind people.
Because Calvin Harris is not a Burning Man guy.
And they just don't know.
Yeah.
Now, Daft Punk, they would definitely know.
Yeah. You know, it's funny how, like, because I remember, like, you know, when, you know, there was no famous people were going to Burning Man yet when I started. My first year. Like, then my second year is, like, when, like, you know, Oakenfold was there.
I bet some people were going that weren't famous yet, that became famous.
Most
I guarantee it.
I mean, there's a lot. Like, you know, there, like, Beats Antique was born and raised in Burning Man.
Music, you haven't gone that far back. Tell me, was music always as integral a part of it, or no?
Not. I mean, yeah, everything artistic.
Well, they struggle. They struggle hard nowadays with it. Festival concept, right? Because of so much music, right?
Yeah, there's so much. It's kind of, but no, at first it was not. No, like my first year there, I remember Thursday night, Thursday night, I rode my bike, and I must have rode 15 miles that night. I went to like every place there was to dance twice, you know.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but like on most of them, most of the bigger ones, there was. I mean, there was not that much. Like I said, it was all freaking psytrance, you know. It was, okay. I didn't hate it, you know. Like I liked it a little bit, but that was mostly what you could hear. But so no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that music centric. You know, there was a lot of other weird, like there was like noise bands and.
But it didn't. There were no like. Correct me if I'm wrong. But were there? You know,
they didn't have
some things. I saw this year, for
camps,
example.
You know
were there rave camps that had done fundraisers all year and had a.
Not really. There might have been
$150,000 worth of gear or more.
No, not really. Not really. Yeah. That didn't come till.
So that's all evolved. That makes sense.
I feel like 2000 was the first year I noticed that. And
how about art cars?
Might have been
or sound cars? There were art cars. Were those there?
Well, not to like not like now. Man. Like,
do you remember? Were you there the first years, like when the Space Cowboys, the MOG appeared?
Yeah,
that was pretty early. Right?
I want to say the MOG was there. in my first or second year. I want to say like they might go back 99 or so. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, that is literally the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I've been told they were one of the first cars, if not the first car.
They might have
first
been.
sound car.
They might have been.
Yeah,
and
they had that party out at the fence.
Yeah, which
and
was
then
dope.
others started plugging in.
Okay, so I stand corrected. That was going on, but like
that's not a big car.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's not.
For people
but
that
they had a big they had a big camp though, a big dance space.
Definitely, I understand.
But I feel
But the car was literally, for anyone that like, you could go if you're interested, you can go look it up. It's the Unimog is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's been out there in a couple of years, but it's basically, I saw it randomly. I went to visit a friend in San Francisco who worked at they build like these, in fact, I think the company's called Glamper Van. They build these like van life vans, you know? The warehouse that they're working in, literally, I look over, fucking the Unimog sitting there.
Yeah, really?
I'm like, how cool is that? Like, it's storage space. So I got to take some pictures.
What's the bumper sticker on the
But it's like
it says something like
there's stickers all over.
When the Mog talks, people dance.
Yeah, something strange. There's ripe stickers and Space Cowboy stickers, but it's basically like a Chinese, some kind of Chinese military transport vehicle, like truck. It's not that big, is all I'm saying.
No,
it's like a dump truck size.
For
anyone curious.
Yeah, you can buy them. They're pretty dope.
Yeah.
You can buy them for. There's one. Somebody's got one over by my house.
Yeah, it's not like
if money were no object, I would have it.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the 747 rolling around, and it's not like the Mayan Warrior or Robot Heart Bus.
Since 2012, and we're dead set on going next year. So like, I'm trying to basically feel like like next year's like reset. Like I'm going like this is my first fucking year going to Burning Man next year. So it's
probably gonna feel like
since it's been so long.
2012.
You know,
It'll blow your mind, dude. I don't even want to be on the same playa when you're there.
That'd take a lot of work. You know?
Whew, it would. Well, speaking of blowing your mind, back to your San Diego DJing career. Yeah. So like I think we made it up to like mid 2000s.
Oh yeah.
So when did you go into the desert, man? Like when did that all start?
So like
Burning Man start that or?
No, I mean I like for instance, Moon Tribe had been going on forever at that point. Like, and I'd always known about Moon Tribe, just never could make it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, okay.
And so I met Janelle around that time, and I talked her into buying me some turntables.
You good?
I'm good. Talked her into buying me some turntables, and then started kind of going out and getting back into the scene a little bit. And when I started going back out and meeting people and stuff, I started getting a few bookings. And then I remember played the Orange Vortex, which was a pretty dope party. It was like I think the Orange Vortex.
The Orange Vortex.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
It's one of those parties that people look back on fondly. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty epic.
I've never heard that.
And
that was downtown, like Gaslamp.
I played on Friday night, and I was like playing side breaks, and no one really fucking heard
side breaks. Side breaks.
By the way, side breaks, not breaks. But I was digging it, and no one had heard that shit at that point. You know what I mean? Like not. So I had a pretty good set. People were super stoked. I started getting booked around that time and going out in the desert and playing relatively regularly.
What was your busiest stretch, would you say, of DJing?
Probably like 2014, 2015. Like I was going out. I was playing out.
All right.
I was playing out in the desert.
Relatively recent. You can't retire.
I was playing. Huh?
You can't retire.
Well, the kids too now. Babysitters are a possibility. Janelle and I have a little bit more freedom.
Getting down the road a little bit. A couple years.
We can go out. We can, So yeah. And I kind of got the itch. I haven't really been doing much. I don't play at home much. You know what I mean?
You just get some more time to keep up with Juice, Brian, me. What's going on?
Yeah.
Other San Diego producers.
But every time I go out, I get I kind of get the itch again, and half the time when I go out, I get somebody to ask me to play.
What's up with the So the Broken Beat party, though, are you involved with that at all, or
Oh, so I started.
or were you in the beginning?
I almost skipped over that. So
Yeah, no, we're in there,
I
dude.
started playing. I started getting booked for Broken Beat around 2004. My friend Walker Holland started it, and
Who started? Oh, Walker.
yeah, Walker did. Yeah, and I started playing for them around 2004. And that was like a gig I was playing pretty regularly.
It was a monthly?
It was a. Was it monthly? Yeah, I guess they were. Yeah, they were monthly, and I was playing. I was playing there probably like 4 times a year, pretty regularly for a long time. Doing a few other parties that I don't remember the name of, but here and there. Some of them not the same.
Every now and then, like, does this happen to you sometimes? Like people like you haven't seen or heard of in forever put a flyer online and tag you. And you're just like, wow.
Don't remember
just
that.
Didn't remember it. I mean, I do when I see the flyer because my picture's on it. I believe it.
I kind of feel like an idiot because I was never like a person that like collected. I've never collected flyers. I've never collected the information of my DJ life. You know, like never been a great promoter of myself.
Me either.
Oh,
never.
I never
even thought about it.
You know what I'm saying? Where
have every flyer. Well, at least when flyers were printed, not all
the
digital shit. I probably have the digital stuff, but I don't make a point of it like I used to the other stuff because you can always go kind of find it if you really need it.
Yeah.
You know, but I do have every paper flyer from way back. It's like thing like that.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to just see all the variety of printed stuff. It brings back a little. I don't sleep with them or anything, but it does bring. Occasionally, when I see them, it brings back like some fun. A few moments.
Yeah.
And then I think of all this shit that I'm glad is not around anymore. And I'm like, cool. I just close that box and shove it back in the closet. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So the Broken Beat party. So they took a break for a while, though.
Well, so they were going strong from like 2004 up until I don't even fucking know what time when they started when Kadan closed down.
Who was playing it? Like
Kadan. Tycho played at Kadan once.
Okay. Was Broken Beat primarily locals?
Edit played there, but it was like, it was very glitch hop and dubstep centric.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even today, I wouldn't say it's that, but even today, it's not break centric. It's Broken Beat.
It's Broken Beat, shit,
which I like. I like that a lot.
Electronica, a lot. Yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Hence the name Broken Beat.
Yeah. I like it. It's precise.
A little bit of drum and bass.
How cool would it be if there was a night that was just called 4 on the Floor?
That would totally
just
go.
Bring everything to
it. Yeah, exactly. That would narrow it right down.
It would narrow it right down. Calvin Harris would be proud. You could play all of the EDM.
Yeah, Broken Beat was and it was like it would ebb and flow. It was something that it would get good crowds sometimes. Sometimes it was like no one there.
I think they have one coming up, don't they? End of the month?
Thursday the 20. I don't have the days of the month.
Any idea who's doing their thing at it?
Yeah. I have no idea.
I'll make a clip out of it.
You know what? I'm gonna throw a guess that Brian Porterfield might be playing because I know he has already.
Let's see. Their thing is at Broken Beat. You can find them pretty easy. Broken Beat on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Broken Beat. I'm gonna hit it real quick and see what's on there, and we'll clip it.
I don't know whether or not they have.
Oh, look at their animated Facebook shit going on.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's crazy with that.
See, one of the things. Well, in case you didn't notice, we might have like one of the mainstays of Broken Beat has been like cutting edge visuals.
I did enjoy that. Yeah. I did like it. Yeah, here it is.
That's always been a thing.
Broken Beat Night at Space Bar. It's on a Thursday this time. And let's see, does it say who's there yet? No cover this time. I know it's on a Thursday.
Yeah, that means I don't think.
And they haven't announced stuff yet. But I don't know. I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Yeah,
variety
see right
of
there.
Stuff.
It shows Tycho and Edit and Daedalus
Oh,
Played
oh,
there.
oh,
Yeah.
from the history,
Yeah,
way
yeah.
back, yeah. So originally
Oh,
running
they've been
from
around since '99.
originally running from '99 through
Yeah.
2014, so that's 15 years,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, and then Glitch Mob, Tycho, Caden in North Park. Oh, at Caden.
Cadan Club. That was the
Cadan
place.
Club.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the place
yeah.
we're talking about.
It was a weird. That was a strange spot.
Got it. All right, cool. Well, anyway, San Diegans, check it out. And don't be scared. It's not a breaks night.
It's not.
It's
Unless-
okay, man.
Unless
You'll
Wes
be all right.
playing
You'll be
there.
all right. You'll be all right. No, Millar engineered that night. I had a great time, man.
It was fun.
I was
yeah.
really psyched that
Yeah.
they made it happen. I have not played an all breakbeat set in a while.
Really?
No, and like 2 years, and
That was the first time I heard you play in probably a couple of years.
and that's about the same.
Yeah.
So, and I had told Brian that,
Oh yeah,
but I was like, but
I
let's do
forgot
it,
I
dude.
played that.
But I was like,
totally
let's
forgot.
do it because I want, I know Brian wanted to play all breaks, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. That's cool, totally fine. Once or twice a year, yeah, no problem at all. But I just make so much different stuff, dude. It's hard for me to go and play, 128 to 130 breaks like beatport style stuff, whether it's what I'm making or I've made or similar
So
stuff.
what are you doing that I didn't know about? What kind
I mean, I've got. Well, guess what my most
getting
popular
it-
genre
are you
is
Well, I
that
know
I've made.
I know it's good shot.
Yeah, because we've talked about that.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about that.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That for whatever reason, I guess that's the closest thing I've
Yeah.
done that's
I mean, I thought
similar
you were gonna tell me,
to kind
I
of
thought you
the
were gonna tell
bass
me
music stuff.
You've gone to just make a tech house now.
Nah, I like
that's a joke.
no, but I like some tech house. It's just a little. To me, it feels like a little bit less energy than I like. I don't know. What do you think of tech house?
I don't know. I'd be hard to generalize.
It's super close to like deep house, like the desert house.
I mean, that's the thing.
If that's what you mean, I'm talking about that.
I know. I mean, tech house. I mean, what would be a quintessential tech house? Like, our quintessential tech house artist.
Dude, I don't even know, man.
John Tejada.
I'm just not that into it. Well, I know who that is,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just not that into it. Yeah, it's cool, but I mean,
I like house. I like house, dude. Like, I like it. I like it all, man. I like it all. Like,
yeah, I like a lot of stuff. So glitch hop stuff I'm still making, and in fact, I was just working on a. You'll like this one. I'll make sure I send it to you. It's an edit of Violent Femmes added up. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, that'll be a good edit to put out. And but I won't play a whole set of that stuff. I mean, I'll make a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And some of it I won't ever play. I just know I enjoy making it, and I know it'll sell.
Well,
and I enjoy it.
Tiesto did play almost all top 40 remixes
of his. A lot of it was of his too, though.
But they were still top 40. Like famous artists. Songs,
yeah.
I mean? Yeah, they were his remixes, but they were still like radio hits.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest gripes that people with maybe let's say less experienced folks their opinion isn't any different. It's music. You like it. But I think that's one of the biggest gripes that less experienced partygoers have with, or more experienced partygoers have as a gripe with people like Tiesto or Calvin Harris or whatever, Layback Luke, is that they don't push the variety like they could. Right? Like there's an they've been like.
I feel like some of these people.
Like,
I feel like some of these people are pigeonholed into doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like they know there's an expectation of what they've got to do to get the big check.
A while ago,
Yeah.
I think I told you the story about like somebody was at ended up somewhere at like this sweet party, at around I don't even know what event it was, and they go to the sweet party and there's Skrillexes and they're playing fucking dope techno.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "What the fuck is techno?" And he's like. So he said something like, that other stuff I have to do because that's what I have to do. This is what I really enjoy, sort of something along those lines. I feel like
maybe he enjoys all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody can
I mean,
enjoy the same shit.
I find it hard
3
to
times
believe,
a week.
I find it hard to believe that Marcus Scholes loves all the music that Marcus Scholes plays.
Probably Tiesto too, based on what we heard that night. Yeah, I don't know if I had. I guess if I had to think of some DJs who I thought probably. I mean, it's definitely a unique position to be in a spot where you basically play whatever you like, whenever you like, and maybe someone like Carl Cox does it. Probably someone like Fatboy Slim does it because it really doesn't matter what he plays. You know, when he shows up, probably. You know, his career spans so far, like he probably doesn't even know what to play. To if he was supposed to play something to like the audience that was related to his career, how would he even know what that's supposed to be?
I tell you what, here's the thing.
Moby,
so, like Carl Cox plays Blue Monday by New Order.
Yeah, which he has.
Or which I know I was at a show that he played it. But if random bedroom DJ that's not that's second up or closing the night plays Blue Monday, he's not going to get the same accepting reception.
He's not
Blue Monday.
No, but to your point, there's some spot in the middle where even these guys that are maybe younger but famous, they can't or don't feel like they can play, perhaps. Like they don't feel like they can pull that off for whatever reason. Yeah. It's kind of like the pigeonhole thing, like you're saying. They just don't, maybe they don't feel like they can pull it off.
At this point, well, we're starting, we're finally in a place where, God, like most of the flyers I see now, most of the events I see now, like I literally know no one on the bill. And that's a new thing for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not only do I usually know who have heard of that person, but I probably actually know that person.
Does that bother you?
No.
Or you like it better?
Not at all.
To some degree, it's kind of better.
It is better, But somebody's, somebody's got to carry the flag, in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I guess a lot of people. Yeah, well,
because remember, you think about it, like when we started talking about like the late '90s and stuff like that, like in Great Britain, like electronic dance music was like top 40 had been for a while.
Yeah,
America, like Chesto was not a household name yet. Like, no one was.
Have you watched? Oakenfold was apparently the guy that made that all change.
I argue that Moby.
I have no doubt he was in there. Change. Here's why. Well, I wasn't there for the Oakenfold thing. I mean, I've heard it play before, but I wasn't there for this particular thing. But there's a number of documentaries out there where he's pretty prominent in the documentary, and I think the Tommy Sunshine one that came out pretty recently, you probably enjoy that a lot if you haven't seen it on Netflix. Yeah, it's like 9 episodes or 8 episodes. It's called After the Rave, and Tommy Sunshine does all of the interviewing.
Really?
And travels around to like 9 different cities to do it.
I might have seen.
So like the whole Ibiza thing and that is like one of them, and Oakenfold is and he's pretty candid in there. It seems like just talking about whatever, and it makes a lot of sense. What he said was like he got like he was doing his whole thing. All those guys, him, Dave Seaman, all that crew was doing their Ibiza thing and started getting paid. And we're just like, great, we're just going to move there and get paid and do this. And that's where it all started for them. And then Oakenfold's big break was that someone from U2 asked him to come tour with them as a DJ. And he was like, well, I can't just play, these progressive house hits. So he kind of mixed up all the stuff that he liked, because he was playing before they played, basically.
Yeah.
But that got him worldwide exposure. And so then after that, he said, he was like, look, let's go to America and bring this whole progressive house thing to America. And I think that's pretty close to true. That's probably pretty accurate.
When I think about that, I'm like, God, would I ever want to see a DJ before a band? I arguably think that I still wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of weird.
Unless it's like a turntablist.
But he goes on about that tour like it was like 60 or 70 cities or something. So that's a lot. Yeah. At that time, that's a lot. Doing weird stadium things and ballparks and like event spaces that made no sense because no one knew what to do with an EDM whatever at the time. Yeah. they didn't know how to promote it. But he was basically like, look, I got, all this money from U2 and this and that, and we're going and doing it. And I think that I believe that. I think that's probably pretty accurate. And then Fatboy Slim and Moby. And
Powerheads.
I think Oakenfold was more popular in North America than Moby before Moby, and then Moby.
Because the Play came out before that.
Yeah, but that didn't hit like. You think?
Fact
check.
That was a big deal. Moby was all the rage for a minute there, dude.
He was, dude. Look at that guy. Let's see what he says. Some shit about the 80s, whatever, but his big, Go Play. Play is 99, 2004.
94. Yeah, I told you, dude. That's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
And I already know who he was.
That's true.
Before that.
Yeah, but okay, fine. So let's see Oakenfold.
Dude, you're gonna be up in the 99, 2000 year.
Let's just see. It's way earlier than I thought. I'm telling you, when I heard this shit on
number one in the world in 98 and 99.
Right? Early, and then Perfecto. See? Look at that, man. Perfecto was crazy, dude. 85 to 91. And this Moby bit with Play was way after that.
All right.
When I heard him talking about it in the documentary, I had no idea. Here it is.
Everything
in '87 he went to Ibiza,
and then you realize, that's in UK. When no one in the rest of the world knew anything about this shit.
Let's see when he did his YouTube thing. Oh, YouTube, whatever. In '92, he did that remix and went on tour with him. So '93. So that's right about. Nah, that's way before Play.
Yeah, it is.
It's 10 years.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Yeah, it's easy 5, 10. Yeah. And so, according to him, he kind of did that whole circular, and it was awesome for him, but it didn't really, catch on yet. So, maybe that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, so I can only judge on my own experience.
Dude, I wouldn't have believed it if someone had sat there telling me.
Yeah,
but I'm watching him and Tommy Sunshine talk about it, and Tommy Sunshine's been around as long as dust.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fine. I believe it. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Here's this Pioneer in America thing. So that I'll give you. That's about the same time. 2000 2001.
In
and
America,
it's right the same time.
Exactly
the same rough time. Yeah. That I totally believe. Moby and Oakenfold, the Crystal Method, that was all right around that.
Yeah, because it was, what was in the mirror, in the alternative radio stations, they were playing Propeller Head, State of California was getting played, and some Chemical Brothers was getting played. Moby.
There you go. Vegas, 96 to 98. It's all right there, because the album came out it could take a couple years before the Gap commercial or whatever, That's how these dudes got famous with the Crystal Method. Because that Busy Child was featured in that Gap commercial with the skateboarder in the khakis.
Yeah.
Shit blew up worldwide. That was awesome. Well, all right. So, hey, man, back to San Diego. All right. So, no, but you did the Broken Beat thing, and then you were saying last, 2015, 16, 17, a lot of DJing. You had a kid.
Had a kid.
Awesome.
2 years
When's
ago.
the comeback? That's what I want to know. When's the comeback?
Scheduled for. We'll call it scheduled for early mid 2019.
You played at Broken Beat with me, man.
I know.
I don't know how you call it a comeback, dude. You're not retired.
I just haven't been playing much at all, Dude, think about it. I opened that night. I had not done that in 10, 12 years.
Opened?
Yeah, open a night. I enjoyed it. Actually.
Thank you.
I played shit that
Cheers,
I don't
dude.
normally fucking play.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
I'm just something drunk, dude.
Dude, you go through these way faster than me, man.
Dude, they're 10 ounces, that's why. And it's not IPA.
You're drinking Stella. I'm drinking Remix IPA. I'm gonna make that look so good. Remix IPA. Come on, Green Flash. Throw some dollars over here on the podcast. Pump us up.
Green Flash is down the street.
Let me make a track. That's what I've been trying to. Not really trying hard, but I'm going to next year. Try harder less travel and more music making for it's just licensing, man. It's like a big market.
Yeah, like
you know?
what you got to do to make big money on your songs, because selling them on
Yeah.
Beatport's not going to do that for you.
No, it's not. No, all the video game stuff I've done has been the cash ticket as far as that stuff goes, for sure. Yeah, you just got to find people that. There's tons of people that want it. It's a really clumsy relationship between somebody who's going to make a commercial, or that's where a lot of it gets done. Commercial, video game, etc. Mm-hmm. That relationship between the people who are trying to get that music and the people like myself is got 4 to 5 layers in between it. So there's some interesting things, though, like everything else, some more B2B, if you will, engagement platforms that are enabling people to find people, not have to jump through bunches of hoops, not have to already have like a, like an in-house licensing consultant that's on retainer, and everything goes through that
consultant.
It's very, it's a snoozer, right? You would not believe how hard it is for, any household brand. You would not believe how difficult it is for them to, if let's say some exec's kid was bugging out to my music.
There's many levels.
Let's just say some exec's kid was bugging out to my music.
Yeah.
Let's just say that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know about it. Kids bugging out. They love it. They're like, yeah, this is what we need for that audience. Mm-hmm. Almost guaranteed it will never make it to me. They'll just find somebody and make something like it.
Make it something like it. Exactly. I know.
Yeah. And probably make something better.
Yeah.
Because, arguably artistically better, let's just say. Because they'll put it, they'll plop that in a pretty expensive studio with a group of musicians, to make it. Yeah. And they'll do it as a work for hire, and they won't pay anybody after that, which is not terrible, because the people getting paid, maybe they might make good money, but they likely won't be DJs or producers or people out there hustling to make a living.
Yeah,
they'll most likely be session studio producer people.
Awesome,
which is a career, but I'm just sharing that is an entire segment of non-DJ electronic music producers is folks that are on retainer, essentially.
It's
they're on
weird,
contract to produce music.
I can't even remember what I was listening to. Dude, I want to say it was like a fantasy football podcast or some shit. And and there was like this background, and it was a breaks track.
Yeah,
and you could tell it was not licensed. You know what I mean? Like it was just something totally their in-house person.
We're like, cool,
fucking dope.
You're like trying to get your Shazam and shit. You're suddenly struggling for your Shazam.
You could tell, it was probably, a 30-second loop that, doesn't go anywhere, and that's it. But it was sick. Yeah. And it's weird. There's a lot of talent in the world doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of. I think the weird thing about that is one weird thing about all of that and the internet stuff is exposure can be good, but there's so many people that don't understand how musicians collectively get paid. Essentially, anyone that creates a song, whether you think they're a musician or not, producer or whatever. But yeah, how artists get paid, it's such a stretch from what any, like an average consumer, you're used to you buy something and you get it. And that just makes sense. That's not at all how the music business works.
When my eyes got opened a little bit, I remember hearing a story. and this was in the 80s, and it was a big deal that Michael Jackson had worked out a deal where he was getting $2 per CD, and that was huge news that he was getting $2 per CD.
Phenomenal. It allowed him to buy elephants and shit.
And they were going, and CDs were $16 back in that day. And he's getting $2.
I was going to say 12, but you're right. I remember they were 15, 16.
And that was huge news.
Yeah.
It was surprising how much, gives you some idea how much money's out there. Michael Jackson was only getting $2 per.
Oh, yeah. It's gotten better in terms of the transparency.
Yeah.
Because it's the game is up.
Well,
people know where the money's being made. So now, people
can
negotiate and do things.
25 levels of people getting paid anymore. I don't think probably.
There's not as many.
Yeah.
But there's definitely still, there's. I mean, it comes down to like even the shows and stuff. There's just a big network of there's a big network of incumbent artist managers and artist agents and promoters. I'm not talking about like promoters like all our friends in San Diego. I'm talking about like promoters that have 100 or more sort of exclusive deals with nightclubs around the country, as an example. That you can't have artists that aren't under their
umbrella. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it goes far beyond. It goes
rigged,
well. It goes far. Well, like every other game. I'm not hating on it. I'm just noting that it exists here as well.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people like that buy a ticket and go to a show or stream on Spotify or maybe used to buy a digital download and now stream on Spotify or Pandora or whatever. I just don't think there's ever been a good way for them to get educated or really care, but there's just never been a good way for them to get educated to connect the dots on how that favorite artist gets paid.
Yeah.
If at all.
Yeah, if at all.
And a lot of times it's not at all.
Yeah.
After all of the tiers and layers. Yeah. But that's just, but there's less layers.
Yeah.
There are less layers and I got in a lot of trouble because some people thought that I was completely advocating for Trump.
What?
No, because he signed this bill. This music digital rights bill. Is the Digital Rights Act?
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 3 or 4 things in it, but basically what they did was, and it had been in the works for a while, so like I got pounced on, like, it's not related to Trump, and I was like, Jesus, I don't care, dude. I'm just glad it got signed, bro. Like I'm like watching a video, I'm like watching the live, I'm waiting for it so much, like I'm watching the live video.
Well, let's stop and think about
with
that. The
Trump signing it, I don't give a shit.
That's going to help out the little guy is shocking.
I don't give a shit. Like, kudos to him for that. Like, I don't care. I mean, fine. So it took 10 years to get there, which it did.
Yeah.
Things like that bubbling up. But who cares? I don't have to invite the guy to my house.
It probably took
I don't have to like the way he treats women.
It took 10 years to come to fruition because that's how long it took for rich people to part with their money. Yeah. So figure out how to get their piece of the pie.
Yeah. So he finally got there. But basically, what it does is it revises the sort of like the statutory licensing that people like Spotify, etc., the way it's accounted for and what they have to do. And even some of them wanted it to be done because they didn't know what to do. Because nobody, like, there's just all these lawsuits and things going on because people did, like, you would hear, it's like rumor shit, right? You would hear these things like, oh, Pharrell Williams happy, he got 50 million plays and he got paid $3. Like, that would be some headline in some magazine. Yeah. Total horse shit. Maybe he got $5. But whatever. The point is like, Spotify's sitting there, like, probably, doing something with money. No doubt they're in it for profit, but they're not just criminals, and so they're just trying to like figure out, okay, well, this guy's suing us, but that guy's the copyright holder, and none of this applies based on the current copyright law. So who do we write the check to? You just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's complicated. It gets complicated.
It takes courts to figure that shit out, right?
Right, and so that's why this finally bubbled up and got passed with unanimous through the House and Senate. It got passed unanimously, which was great because it basically just helps simplify this whole streaming thing. And now all the companies that do streaming, and there's a few other things in there too. Like a good example is like, I think it was prior to 1977. I don't think you had to pay any of those bands for streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the copyright lasts 21 years or something like that.
You have this grandfather out instead of grandfather.
Well, copyright is like 21 years or something like that. So whatever that delineation was, it was like prior to that. Basically, the streaming companies were saying, nope, we don't know. We don't owe them, and any publicly traded company, dude, the CEO is going to look at the bottom line and be like, the hell if we're paying $100 million if we don't have to?
Yeah.
That's their job, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this puts a lot of that to rest.
Are we boring you?
Yeah, dude. Oh, we poured this shit out already a long time ago. This puts a lot of that to rest, is the bottom line. Yeah. We usually bore people after about the
You know
first
who's
hour.
not making any money? This guy.
Yeah, you gotta make some music.
Yeah.
No, actually,
You're
don't
right.
do that because you won't make any money off
I
of that either. Yeah, this. How can we get some? How can we get some music behind your? I actually did think both your jobs that I've known you've had since you've been. If you don't mind me asking about Magic Flay, what I know you moved on, but what was that? What even was that?
Magic Flay?
Sharp turn from
Dude,
music to
yeah,
Magic
like,
Flay.
what are you talking about? Dude?
I'm totally interested.
You know, I don't know. What do you? It was
vaping.
It was a vaporizer. Yeah, it was like a. It was the first handheld weed.
Is that still a big business? The vaping thing, or is it moved?
Are you just fucking
I don't mean
joking?
weed. I mean particularly the vaping. Like,
yeah, of course it is, dude. Like,
look, I don't do a lot of it,
Yeah.
so as you know, so I'm just saying, like, I don't know the
Is
the
vaping-
variances
is
of going
vaping
from
a
what
big
they
deal?
made to what's happening now in the pens and the oils. and all that shit.
Well, that's the problem. That was the problem. But they're still around. They still make the product.
Yeah. So what does that do versus like one of these sleek little pens
Well, for
with oil
you
in
can put flowers in for one.
in the vape
Yeah,
and the Magic Flay?
you can just put a nug in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The actual.
Yeah,
Like- Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And it was cool. It was like the first handheld. You know.
And that was before it was legal.
Yeah.
Has it helped them at all? You
I
think?
have no idea.
I mean, I know you're not
I
like
mean,
a stockholder and
I don't work
shit.
there.
I know.
I don't work there anymore.
I'm
dude.
just curious.
I moved on to
Yeah.
headphones, man.
Fine then,
Yeah.
headphones. Screw Magic Flay.
Screw Magic
No,
Flay,
sorry, Magic
exactly.
Flay. Whatever, dude. We don't really care.
I used to like it. Now I don't.
I just remember the comical part to me about that was that, like, I swear, when I met you, like, I felt like 50% or more of the people that I met that knew you all worked there.
Dude, that's because
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
It was serious.
And I was like, this is crazy.
At one point, there was like 150 employees, and shit. I not conservatively, 60 of those people had been like really good friends for 5+ years.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
All right, so you moved on. You're in the headphones business.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Working for Mr. Speakers.
I gotta look
Some
this
of the
up. dude.
some of the finest
How would I find it?
Planar magnetic
MrSpeakers.com or what?
electrosonic headphones there are. Yeah, it's just MrSpeakers.com.
How's this? How long have they been around?
I don't know. I have a shirt that says like maybe like five or 6 years. That's our new E2. It's
shit.
it's our second generation
MrSpeakers.com. Go
planar
check it out.
magnetic.
$1,599. What do you do with that?
Dude, they're sick.
I have like 6 pair of headphones in here, but I
This
guarantee
one's
you that
$2
all of them
grand, bro.
together,
This one's
all of them
$2 grand.
together are not $1,599. Maybe
Yeah.
they might be.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't even know that you can pay that much for headphones.
I didn't.
These
I mean,
electrostatics right here, dude.
I'll believe anything.
See
What,
these right there? Those are $3 grand.
This vote.
and now, yeah.
What do you pronounce that?
And now,
Voce electric,
Voce.
electrostatic.
I don't know.
Voce.
There's some argument that how you pronounce it. Voce.
All right.
Or Voce. So
Go check that
those
shit
are
out, people. You want to see a
electrostatic headphones, and
$3,000
those-
pair of headphones?
yeah, not only do you have to spend $3,000 for the headphones, but you got to buy one of these special things down here that costs that much money to power it.
What do they do? What do these things
dude,
do?
Close your eyes and put on like a live recording of like Tom Waits, and you'll think that Tom Waits is standing behind you, bro. It's like
I'm not sure if I
seriously,
want that, but okay.
It's hard to explain.
Will Tiesto be behind me if I put him on and listen to
Sure.
Tiesto?
Like I mean,
Or that doesn't do it justice.
honest,
probably.
electronic music doesn't quite do it justice.
Who buys? Who would buy these?
Have you ever heard of audiophiles?
Sure. Yeah.
They're crazy people. They're like
People like
they're like accurate sound.
people like the guy from Henry Rollins. He's an audiophile, big time, dude.
Really? Yeah.
I bet he has these things.
Dude, you know what? So,
I'm gonna show you his shit.
actually, to true audiophiles, headphones are like a dirty word, sort of.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you can spend like, I swear to God, you could spend like an easy $500,000 on a home stereo.
Dude, look at this.
Yeah,
Is Henry
yeah,
Rollins
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
bro.
Dude,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He has. See that picture right there? Go Google. Anybody interested? Go just Google Henry Rollins home stereo. If you're listening later, or you want to check out what we're looking at now, and you'll see his whole collection. Dude's got. I've heard him on Joe Rogan's thing like twice, and these speakers are super funky. And he had. I think he. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he said he has every cassette tape that he's ever been sent, like as a demo, that Black Flag did, whatever. All his spoken word shit that he does nowadays around the world.
That's amazing.
That's this wall. See all this stuff? Crazy.
That is amazing.
Doesn't get rid of any of it. He has this crazy routine where he to me it's crazy. It's just different. Where he, on this system, he goes and listens to 10, 15, 20 new albums.
Have you ever heard a proper audiophile system?
No.
Oh my God. It's crazy. It's
How would I go listen to one?
Well, I don't know. You can go to a high-end audio place. There's actually a high-end audio place over by where I work. On it's on Sports Arena, right by where that Starbucks, Sports Arena and Rosecrans. There's a Starbucks, and right next to that Starbucks, there's a little strip mall, right? And then there's a high-end audio place right there. And
would someone like that sell your stuff, or you guys?
I don't know.
Online?
I don't know if they're carriers or not. I don't know where they're carried. But I'm serious. These things, it's like one of those things. It's like when you I don't know if you ever had a really really high end bottle of wine or a really really high end bottle of rum or something like that, and you're like, oh, I didn't know. Once you can unhear it, can untaste it. That's what it's like. It's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm that way with a $60 bottle of tequila.
Some of the systems, some of the stereo systems, the not headphone system, they're works of art too.
Dude, $3,000, and then you got to get one of these, a preamp or something.
Yeah. So you can try, dude. That's only $2,300.
$5,000.
I'm saying that's only
for these. Dude, non-headphone headphones.
I guarantee you, most people that buy those headphones are going to spend $10,000 because they're going to get a $7,000 DAC.
How many audiophiles do you think are out there?
I don't know, but they're all.
I don't mean
crazy.
your customers, but just the market. What's it worldwide? Do you have any idea?
No, not a clue.
There's 1 million audiophiles out there.
Maybe
that would pay $50,000 for speakers.
Yeah, I mean,
or $100,000. I think that.
Well,
this Henry Rollins shit. I think it's like $250,000.
Look, you get. Well, you know what? If money were no object, I'd probably have that too. But first of all, you got to know about it. And first of all, you got to care about it. But sometimes, there's certain things in the world that rich people buy things because they're expensive sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this you don't buy because it's expensive, right?
Well, some people, I'm sure some people actually do.
Huh.
And then there's some people that just care about hearing that accurately play. The object with audiophile system is accuracy. They want it's trying to recreate the sound of hearing it live.
Literally. Yeah, if you or anyone listening now or later, if you've never heard Henry Rollins describe his experience with a vinyl record for the first time, you gotta go find the Joe Rogan. I'm sure there's clips out there, or just find the episode and scrub through it. But dude, you have to listen because I think he's the guy. He doesn't call himself an audiophile in there, neither does Joe. But I think that's the guy you're talking about. That kind of dude.
Definitely is.
The way he describes
100%.
Getting home with 15 new records that he's never heard before and simply listening to them on his system.
Yeah.
And making notes. He says he makes all these handwritten notes about everything, and then he'll listen to something 10 times and stuff like that. That, to me, that's a difference between loving music and some other level stuff.
There's a thing when you listen. Sometimes when you listen to recordings on systems like this or on headphones like this, you hear things you couldn't hear before. Maybe dude's got a fucking Band-Aid on his pinky that's flapping and it
somehow adds
the guitar
to the chord that you know.
Seriously.
Or whatever. No, but I got you, man. I get it.
That's how it's. You will definitely hear things that you don't hear when you're listening to Beats by Dre.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, have you ever tried those?
I have, yeah, I have.
I got a pair. I had to send it back.
They're not. I mean, something.
I mean, I just got them for listening, but they had
just a lot of extra bass.
They had a latency between the device and the
really?
headset. I could tell.
Yeah.
Like the Apple was nice enough to take them back, but I was describing it to like the Genius dude, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but these have a latency. I can tell. Like for me, you know, being on the wireless, and I plug them in, I'm like, I can tell it's not there, but it's there otherwise. And I was like, I can't deal with that visually and hearing the noise and that I can't deal with it.
One of the people who's responsible for Beats by Dre exploding in the world actually works for Mr. Speakers now. He's our new president.
Do you know much about that story with the Beats by Dre thing? And I mean, I know it got bought for like $4 billion or some crazy whatever.
Yeah, actually, he's told me the story, but I don't want to I don't want to get things wrong. So
no. It was acquired by Apple, right?
Yeah,
400 million.
Sure.
Well, what was it like? They acquired them both for $3 billion.
Dude, he's a really really cool guy named Andy, and he was like, telling me,
what do you think?
He was telling me a story about DJ Jazzy Jeff. This guy calls DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Nice. You're like, you mean Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah, he calls him Jeff. See? I'm pretty sure he calls Dr. Dre by his first name.
So I got a question for you. So 2014, this acquisition was done, $3 billion. What do you think Dre's doing over at Apple nowadays? You think Dre's kicking back in Cupertino?
Yeah.
In the big donut office? He's got a suite, a wing over there. He just flies in and Dre rolls through. Man. Those some of those documentaries that have started coming up in the last few years are phenomenal with him in them.
Yeah. Have you watched the Hip Hop Evolution?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm watching season 2 right now.
I was so mad.
Show, man.
I was so mad because I was getting ready to do some other shit, and I was sitting there and I saw that pop up on Netflix. I hit the first episode and I was like, I hope there's not more than like. Because I was like, I'm watching every fucking one right now.
That's exactly.
Dude, I watched them all straight, and then I didn't get up the next day. I had shit to do. People looking for me. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I was watching Hip Hop Evolution.
Dude, this is epic.
Oh my god, it was so good. I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was amazing. That, and I also watched another one that was just about as good to me. Was there's a good documentary came out about Quincy Jones.
I haven't seen that.
It's amazing, man. Because I knew a good bit about him, but I didn't know like his involvement with a number of the people that he was involved with.
Yeah.
I also didn't know he was so prolific and talented multi-instrumentalist. Didn't know that.
I didn't.
I know dude had top 40 #1 hits on Billboard, like as him, not shit he produced, like his early years. Yeah, it's crazy. Like one of the first songs he did was like this. Well, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, you like music. That's a good one to watch too, because he gets real into like, he was so early in it all. You know, he gets into like the struggle of being a super talented musician, but being African American and simply not getting the opportunities. And he paired up with so throughout things, you know, one of his big breaks was that he paired up with this white chick. I forget her name, but they did you'd know the song if I told you. I just can't remember what it is now, but they highlighted in there, and he talks about it. He was like 17 or something, dude, and she's like maybe 20 or 19. It was like one of these like, you know, it's my party, I'll cry if I want to type things. Like super bebop, whatever. Shit went global, #1, and then he, you know, was able to meet a lot of people. And this is like 25 years before he meets Michael Jackson. So a long career, you know what I'm saying, of being a musician, playing with all these people, and then he gets into starting to do this stuff like Diana Ross and whatever. I'll get some of the names wrong. I know Michael Jackson was in that queue, but others as well. So pretty intense, man. Yeah, dude, that's one to watch for sure. All right, man. So, anything else about Mr. Speakers?
They are some of the finest headphones on the planet and an awesome company to work for. And that's about it.
I would love to own some, but dude, I'm trying to get rid of gear, dude.
I know.
Yeah,
Dude,
the debit card is not
they're super
happy
good,
if I
super
go
good.
click an add cart on your site.
Yeah.
And when you know the lowest price ones on the page are out of stock.
Out of stock.
Shit,
Those,
dude.
and they're not out of stock.
Yeah, man.
We
I
got-
would love to
we
say
got
I
this.
know somebody that could help me get a pair, but even at that price, can't do it, man. They don't even give you a discount, do they?
Yeah, I'm sure I'd give this
Bullshit. Most expensive headphones I,
I could
have.
definitely get it.
These are the most expensive headphones I have right here.
What are those? Oh yeah,
These
yeah,
aren't bad.
yeah.
They're
AKG.
nice. Yeah.
Fancy.
They're like $350.
Yeah.
Not bad.
They look
They
kinda cool.
definitely
I like
make
the way
a
they look.
difference.
Huh?
They definitely make a difference. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they're open back, so it's
yeah,
gotta be nice
a lot
and
of
quiet
ours
in
are-
here, and you
most
can
of
hear
ours are
stuff really
open.
nice.
A lot of ours are open back.
They look like it. I was about to ask.
Do you
Yeah.
do most of your, well, we have both. Like if you look at it, like these are open. This is the Ether.
The Ether?
2. This is the new version of this, right?
These all look open back.
These are all open. This is
Yeah.
closed,
Oh, okay.
and then these here are the Ether. These are closed.
That's closed.
and Ether Seaflow.
Maybe closed.
These are
look open.
generally regarded as the best closed
Yeah.
back headphones that you can buy.
Yeah. I do almost
And
everything.
if I'm wrong, I don't give a
I do almost everything in headphones now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You really don't need. Like you need. Well, I mean, I never worked. I've talked about this a few times, but I've never worked with any bands.
Mhm.
Like Brian Millar, I think. I mean, I've never been there, but he has band experience, right? And sound,
Yeah,
like
sound engineer.
venue experience. So like, I never did that other than helping set PAs and standard shit up. But like DJ replay PAs. But like if you're in a studio, having to mic multiple vocals and all these dynamics, like that's a whole different world, dude. Whole
it's
different
crazy.
world.
Sometimes
Man.
they'll sometimes they'll put like fucking 30 microphones all over the room. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean, I
record
pretty
all
much
that.
know because I'm using either digital, they may be analog sounds, but they're getting converted from any of that Moog stuff over there.
Uh-huh.
They're still getting converted. A lot of the stuff is coming from producer packs and things like that, even if it's sound banks with MIDI files. So that's how it's getting generated. I mean, you can see it all, like with a good EQ, even just like the EQ8 that's in Ableton, you can see what's going on. And then there's like also other third-party plugins like spatial stuff where you can see like the stereo spread and things. Like you don't, like if you know what those things mean,
Yeah.
you don't, like you pretty much know like this is a piece of shitty audio
Yeah.
or not. Like you kind of know.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna, send it to get mastered anyway, they're gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to tell you.
They're just gonna tell you it doesn't sound good.
Redo this.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you the mix down
Have
doesn't
you ever had
sound
that
good.
happen?
Yeah, but it'll depend on what I master a lot of stuff myself because now like I have I've put together like my own template of things from other people's templates, basically like
Yeah.
Ableton templates, where you can study these exhaustive mastering chains and mix down chains, and they've got all the routing and side chaining and all this crazy shit in these files. And some of it's necessary, not all of it, but some of it is. And after a while, you tweak things to be your own way, and you kind of know, like, if I'm not recording live instrumentation, like someone comes in with a hand drum or something, like if it all came off of well-produced, like Vengeance sound packs, like there's nothing I'm gonna do with my knowledge that's gonna make that better. Nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. The only thing I can do that's gonna make that not suck is more to do with arrangement and songwriting. Like, don't crowd a bunch of shit and don't have a crazy bunch of frequencies all banging away at the same time. But that you can all get visually, through EQs and stuff, and these like sonic optimizer things. What
you're saying is keep it simple, stupid. Like, don't.
Well, you can get crazy. outside the computer, yeah. I mean, if you're doing electronic music, man, you don't. I mean, all I'm saying is you don't have to. Dude, go watch that master class from Dead Mouse.
Oh yeah.
Just go watch that. He explains it all right there. Like
Yeah.
he explains what I'm talking about in way more detail.
In more detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's a musician, like apparently that can play live and do all the whatever live, but he sits there and talks about a lot of why you don't need, you know, like why someone can be a laptop success. You know, because you with a couple grand in software and a really good MacBook Pro kind of thing, you can in fact, for electronic dance music, pretty much get right up to the level that the top shit is at.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I see.
You can get close enough to where if somebody like, you know, fucking Sprite, as in the beverage, here's your shit, and you happen to have all the rest of the game figured out, the management, the this, the that, all that, and they're like, we want your stuff, but now you gotta put, you know, you gotta kind of work with XYZ producer to make sure it's up to, you know, Sprite commercial TV standards or whatever the hell that is. You know, that's like that little bit, but you're not gonna have that's not gonna be your problem, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like that last 1% is definitely not gonna be your reason that you don't make it big.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get so close to, you know, the world stage with laptop engineering for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know Skrillex personally, but I'll never forget like his consistent claim in anything I've ever seen him talk about his first album, the one he gave away for free, his first dubstep album, the one he gave out for free and got huge and all that accolades and stuff. Like he swears to this day that all of it was done in a laptop by himself,
on headphones.
100%, and I believe it. I don't not believe it.
I don't not believe
it's very
it.
possible.
Yeah,
it's very possible. He's a musician.
Yeah.
You know, like none of the songwriting would be a problem for him. So it's purely just boils down to like the software quality and the sound quality and all that, which is achievable. So I don't see a reason why he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you're
there you go.
I just need to buy really good sounds and arrange them together, and that's it.
Have you ever done? I know you're interested in producing. Have you ever?
Am I?
Well, we've talked about it a little bit. Have you ever gone and done any of the courses, like the build a song courses?
I have not. I've sort of, not really though. Yeah, no. I would say no.
Yeah, like Sonic Academy, as well as the oh shit, one of my favorites, producer. Can't remember. Anyway, I'll give it to you later if you're interested. But like Sonic Academy is a great place to start. You go, like they have all kinds of shit and tutorials and stuff. But if you go, like let's say you like disco house, you can go and like watch like a dude that does disco house for a living, you know, create a song.
Yeah,
and they give you the template.
I tell you what,
and like you can literally go and change some shit around and be making some disco house.
People were really good at making music.
Yeah,
dude, how are you fucking supposed to compete against people that can like build a dope song in fucking 12 minutes?
Do you want a real answer to that? You want a real answer to how can you compete?
Yeah,
I'll tell you. So back to the lottery kind of thing, and I tell people this all the time. I was actually just talking to a girlfriend of mine the other day about it. Is like it's a little bit. You could say it's a little bit like shooting goals in soccer, right? Mm-hmm. Like the more shots you take, maybe you get one through the hoop, right?
I see.
So the difference is, there might be a person who does nothing but 8 hours a day, all day, as a job, making tunes for commercials, and they're dope tunes, and he also makes DJ tunes, or they're both one and the same, whatever. Awesome. How do you compete with that, right? Might be the question, right? Well, let's just say you get the time to sit down and make one a month, right? Mm-hmm. So your odds might be less, but, and this is the big but in the music business, they're not zero as long as you're making something.
Yeah.
And it only takes one, dude.
Yeah.
Like one, like literally, like if you sat down and like,
you
could think anything and everything you want, for example, of like the Crystal Method, right?
Yeah.
And having had some, direct chats with them and hang time with them, whatever, over the years, not much these days, but having had that, you could sit down and ask them the song. There's no question. Busy Child on the Gap commercial, worldwide. notoriety overnight, done. So that can happen to anyone.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? That's that lotto ticket. And it happens all the time, man. Like there's people that are been grinding for 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Make great shit. And you'd be like, how can I beat that guy? Right. But then there's a 19-year-old that just stumbles across some different idea and the right people found it.
Yeah,
and there you go.
It's
done.
The right people finding kind
done.
of thing, you know, dude.
And then you'll have so much work coming your way. You won't know what to do.
I had not been on Beatport in a month and a half, right? So I go on today just for the hell of it and started listening to some tracks, dude. I filled up $100 queue in about 20 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Just in one genre, I found, and I have good taste. Let's
great taste.
Get that out of the way right now.
Taste, dude.
I have good taste, and I found 25 tracks that were fucking sick, dude. Like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, I can give you a good example of how quickly people can adapt. And it is interesting. I don't know who said it the other day. It's not really that important who said it, but it was funny. They were talking about some musician. They were talking about the tip of my tongue is like thinking John Fogerty, but it's not him. No, it's like someone else. But it's definitely it's like a classic rocker. Yeah. And British guy. I watched the documentary. But anyway, someone was talking about him and was like saying, you know, that he's not a collector of ideas and facts. He's an original musician. And I thought, you know, okay, that's pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why people were going with him, because it's hard nowadays when you listen to someone from 30 years ago to think, well, that's original.
I can't figure out why I have these in.
Well, you don't have to have it in because we don't have the two things in it. It looks cool though, right? But so if you put yourself back 25, 30 years and think, oh, okay, I can understand like whatever somebody was hearing from this guy at that time, they realized relevant to that time that this guy wasn't a collection of facts and ideas at the time. What he was doing was no one was doing it. Like it was coming from another place. And the great part about, I think, creation or creatives or anyone that creates anything is like as soon as you're doing it, you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be just as much that thing as anyone else has it.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Know? It's like
practice will get you better for sure.
Because, I've been a DJ for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and I, you know, like my wife tells me I'm creative, and people have told me I'm creative. I'm a creative, right?
My mom tells me that all the time, dude.
I'm like, dude, I just play other people's fucking songs back to back. You know, like how creative is that? I'm super self-deprecating mostly, but I forgot where I was going with that. But you know, and
down the hole.
But I know. But I was like, I think I was thinking about like DJs and the whole idea of DJs and how like, you know, there's, you know, what was it? Was it Dead Mouse that said DJs are cunts?
Yeah, probably. It sounds like something he would say.
Yeah, but it was like the idea that, you know, the DJs are what is a DJ? Think about it. Like the history of a DJ is he's a music promoter. He's really a music promoter. He's a record promoter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know why I didn't know that.
Because we were talking about producing music and all this stuff. But I'm telling you, we'll wrap it up here soon. But I'm telling you, if you know, I'll if you tell me a genre that you kind of like or you want to like mess around with, Ableton or something. Do you have Ableton?
I have.
Any version?
I have a trial. Yeah.
Or just get the $99 version.
You know,
12 tracks.
You know, honestly, the block between me and, you know, producing music.
It's money.
Is always
that's there too. Yeah. It does take some money to be in the game, but I mean the good part is once you've like got standard Ableton, you know, $500 or Suite or whatever, like usually they don't put out a brand new big version each year. It's like every 2 years or something like that, and they're pretty fair. I mean, they'll ding you, you know, $199 or something to get that big new kit upgrade. But it's not like you couldn't do without that for a couple more years if you wanted. I mean, there's still people producing shit in like Ableton 7 and 8 probably.
Yeah.
It works, it still runs on something, and it's fine. But point being is like you can, if you tell me a genre, hit me up whenever, and I'll go find you. I'll go find you like a tutorial that focuses on that genre, that gives you the whole. They give you the project, they give you the sounds, everything, dude. And you can literally like they do the mix down, they do everything, and you always learn something from all of it. Yeah, you have to spend like at the shortest probably 4 hours, at the longest probably 20 hours watching somebody develop a track like that.
Yeah.
But they're all professionally done, and the template's all nicely done. Everything's there, and you could literally, once you've gone through that and watched it and see that, you could literally just start take stuff out, put stuff in, with not too much complexity. Like you're not overwhelmed by the whole entire like Ableton opens and it's blank.
Yeah,
that's mind blowing.
I've fucked around a lot. So, you know what I mean? Like, but like I've never been. I just never knew how to finish anything. Never knew how to like completely organize.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think that's one of the advantages. I mean, I've definitely benefited highly from watching these other people.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've probably gone through 50 of them, dude. Like, I've watched drum and bass ones, and I don't even want to make drum and bass. But I watch it just to see what they're doing, and you'll hear something in there that's like, oh, okay, maybe that I could apply that to what I like to do. And that might help, my breakbeat or my glitch hop be a little different than the rest of the glitch hop because I'm pulling something from disco house.
Yeah.
Some filter. Because they'll all have these signature things that they do that'll be kind of standard. Yeah. And the funny part is these producers will even tell you when they're making it in front of you, they'll be like, oh, this is just the same shit everybody does to sound like this.
Yeah.
And as soon as they do it, you'll be like, oh, dude, that's where that comes from. And then it's like the cat's out of the bag.
Where it used to be like this genre uses.
Yeah, then the cat's out of the bag and you're like, oh, that's how they did that, And then you can do like 100 variations on that if you want to go down the rabbit hole and spend your whole month or year on that, But yeah, cool stuff like that. Oh, man. You hungry?
Huh?
Are you hungry?
I
gotta take a leak too, dude. It's time to bust out of here, man. We ran everybody away anyway. Yeah. It's all right. They listen later on SoundCloud and the podcast when I put it out. We ran everybody off. They're like, oh shit, Wes is going to They're like, oh shit.
These guys are drunk.
They're drunk and Brian got him lit up on Ableton templates. I'm out of here, dude. Anybody that was like just a like a pure music fan was just like, I gotta go. They're like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Bye. There's probably some comments where they're like, see you later. The other time that usually happens is if I start talking about like music finance.
Oh, really?
People are just like, I'm out, dog. I don't want to know. Don't ruin it for me. I don't want to know where the money's going. All right, it's cool, man. All right, dude. Well, let's take a whiz and get out here and get something to eat.
All right, cool.
This is it. This is the sign off. Stay classy, yo. Stay classy, yo. Yeah, we'll just sign off, dude. It's fine. Go get something to eat. Any shout out? Broken Beat coming up.
Shout out to Broken Beat coming up.
Check out Janelle Despot art on Instagram.
Wait, JanelleDespotArt.com.
Yeah, dude.
My wife said, "Is the show live?"
Yeah, right. She's done covers. She's done covers. All sorts of shit for Juice. I love it.
Yeah.
Check her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And we're out of here.
All right.
We gotta hit the head, man.